Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a truly magical little story today about a tiny seed named Pip. Now, on the surface, sure, it's a charming, simple tale, but as we unpack this narrative, we're actually going to uncover some pretty profound truths about why we sometimes feel, well, totally insignificant. It's all about overcoming that nagging worry of being small, and there is so much we can learn from her journey. Let's get into it. So think about this for a second. Have you ever felt just way too small to do something big? Honestly, it's a completely universal experience, right? We all get that creeping sense of self-doubt that whispers we just don't measure up to the challenges in front of us. And Pip's upcoming journey, it perfectly mirrors this exact psychological barrier that literally every single one of us faces at some point. So let's set the stage and look at where Pip's story actually kicks off. So the text introduces us to Pip. She's this incredibly cheerful, happy little seed buried deep beneath the soft brown soil. She's known for just always smiling. But, and here's where the story gets super relatable, despite that constant outward smile beneath the earth, Pip was actually harboring a tiny, nagging worry hidden deep in her heart. She wasn't totally at peace. Figuring out exactly why she was worried is pretty much central to this entire story, so let's see how this builds. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Pip felt so incredibly small. I mean, think about her reality. She's a tiny seed buried under all this dark, heavy soil. But every single day, she could hear what was going on right above her. Tall flowers, just dancing lightly in the breeze. Pip was falling into the trap of classic environmental comparison. She heard the massive success and stature of the flowers above, looked at her own tiny, buried self and thought, no way, I could never be like them. Being in constant proximity to those towering, dancing flowers, it just completely amplified her feelings of insignificance. She felt entirely trapped by her current physical size. Now, it was in this super heavy state of comparison that something finally intervened. Pip hears this soft voice as tiny raindrops start landing near her, just a gentle tip-tap-tap. The gentle rain notices her hidden sorrow and basically asks, hey, why are you so sad? And Pip finally confesses her deepest limiting belief. She says, I'm too small to become anything special. I am just a tiny seed. This right here, this is the absolute core of why Pip felt so small. She had completely tangled up her current temporary size with her ultimate potential. She actually believed that being just a tiny seed was her permanent identity, rather than, just her starting block. So, the million-dollar question is, how do you snap out of a mindset like that? What actually changed Pip's mind? How did our tiny hero break free from such a massive psychological barrier when she was literally, physically buried under the earth? Because we all know that shaking off that kind of self-doubt isn't usually something we pull off totally on our own. The answer is all about the support system around her. Let's look at the exact intervention that flipped the script for our little seed. What is absolutely fascinating about this moment is how nature itself steps up to offer this crucial mentorship. First off, the gentle rain doesn't just dismiss her feelings. Instead, it chuckles softly, which brings this much-needed lightness to her heavy, heavy thoughts. Then, the warm earth provides incredible physical comfort, giving Pip a literal, gentle hug. But the real breakthrough? That happens when the earth whispers a little secret to her. It tells Pip, every tall flower, and even the mighty trees, start as a tiny seed just like you. The earth completely reframed her perspective. It validated that, yeah, sure, she is small right now, but so was every single giant currently dancing in the breeze above. Hearing this, Pip blinked. You can just imagine the gears turning. She began to realize that being small wasn't the end of her story. Actually, maybe being small was only the beginning. Pip closes her eyes, and instead of repeating her old, definitive, limiting belief of I can't, she whispers two unbelievably powerful words. Maybe I can. This is it. This is the absolute turning point of our explainer today. This mindset shift, it's what unlocks the whole shebang. She didn't need to be 100% confident just yet. She literally just needed to open the door to possibility with a simple maybe. And man, once that mindset shifted, the physical transformation started immediately. First, she feels a tiny tickle and a tiny root begins to grow. Second, a tiny green shoot appears, pushing right through that warm earth. Third, day by day, Pip stretches higher and higher, aiming straight for the sunshine. And finally, pop! One sunny morning, Pip blooms into this beautiful flower. With this quick, satisfying momentum, she finally reached the surface. She wasn't just listening to the tall flowers anymore. She was up there actually dancing with the breeze herself. Now, as a beautiful, fully bloomed flower, Pip looks down and smiles at all the tiny seeds still buried below her. And the source material leaves us with this powerful, incredibly memorable takeaway. You may feel small today, but beautiful things are already growing inside you. I mean, wow, that just brilliantly captures the whole essence of Pip's journey. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. When you find yourself caught up in comparison, feeling entirely too small for the challenges ahead, just ask yourself, what beautiful things might already be growing inside you right now, just waiting for a simple, maybe I can?